What's up, everybody? It's Mods Cage Radio. I took all the lighting that I normally have in my studio over to our new studio, so the background's kind of fucked up. I know Joey and Jeremy love this specific background, and back in the day, I used to do all this kind of fucking shit and whatnot. Haven't done any videos fucking forever. Been quite some time, but welcome, okay? We got a new studio in Clovis, 60 MMA minutes returned, and the show will now be powered by Liquid Nitro energy drink. So shout out to Joe over at Liquid Nitro. Looking forward to doing some big things this year. All right, so I was just kind of compelled tonight to do a video because, you know, I've been doing this stuff for, I don't know, about 5 years or whatnot. I'm in no way a professional or anything like that. I think most of the people that have followed my website from one time to another can agree with that. But I went out to the Tachi Palace like I normally do for every show. I've been to every single Tachi Palace fights except for one when Jeremy and I were in a pissing match about a weight. And what I mean by that is Tachi Palace number 2, Ulysses Gomez was going to fight a guy named Chino Nichols. Chino Nichols? I think that's his name. Anyway, he's an also-ran now. I don't even know if the fucking guy fights anymore. But I was sitting at the weigh-ins, and they announced Yuli. I believe Yuli was like 132, 133, somewhere in there. I think the contracted fight was 130 pounds in that particular match. And Yuli hit the scale at like 132 something. And this Chino Nichols cat hits the scale, and they say 120.6 pounds, something like that. I said, did you say 120? Because I had never heard. I mean, dude, that's like fucking jockey weight. Okay, that's like somebody riding horses down at the Fresno Fairgrounds, you know, one of Bucky's Lucky's picks in the 7th race. So, yeah, Chino Nichols hits the scale at 120. I come back to the lab. I make a big deal about it, saying, hey, I don't know how, you know, how much weight Yuli's going to gain between now and then. Jeremy sees my video, fucking just comes unglued. Basically says, hey, if you're going to be talking bad about my show, then why don't you not come? Okay, so I fucking didn't go. Missed a fucking great show. Missed the bloodbath that night. Was it Diego Silva? Fuck, I can't remember. And Eddie Yagan. It was an absolute fucking bloodbath. And everybody was talking about that fight. Of course, I've missed all that shit. The state didn't let them do the fight. They actually, I found out later that they held the fight, but it was after all the commission left and whatnot. So, Jeremy always makes fun of me whenever I ask these fighters, hey, what do you walk around at? This, that, and the other thing. Because that's something that, you know, I never really ever thought about when I was watching the UFC, quote, growing up. I've seen them all, paid for none of them. Sorry, Dana. But, basically, you know, I tune into the fights. I don't give a shit what you weigh. I just want to watch some fights. Like, I never, you know, gave any thought to, you know, cutting weight and everything that goes into it. And, you know, getting, you know, throughout this time that I've been in the game a little bit, you know, I've grown to know a lot of these fighters. I understand a lot of the stuff that they go through. There's not a fighter out there that likes cutting weight. Guys like the bad man Dave Huckabee, he said, Motts, you know, I'm not into cutting weight. I'm never going to cut weight. I'll always be a heavyweight. So, you know, there's some guys that aren't, you know, that don't want to cut the weight and whatnot. And I mean, I can understand, you know, there's guys that allegedly like Anthony Rumble Johnson, who used to cut like 50 pounds allegedly to make weight. And then he started falling off, you know, not making weight, et cetera, and so forth. So, Tonight I go out to the Tachi Palace. Everybody's hitting the scales. You know, there's some fighters, you know, weighing in at 150, 151. I don't know if those were catch weights because, you know, it was a later replacement. I was speaking specifically of the Andre Feely, Enoch Wilson fight. I didn't get a chance to find out. You know, I should have followed up with my man Dave Hirschbein. Shout out to MMA Gold. But a lot of the guys are, you know, not making, quote, weight tonight. And before I get into it, I want you guys to take a look at this.
Next year. But Goodman sent me a text that, hey, I got a fight for you at 135 with Alex Perez. You know, I didn't text him back right away. They had offered me a fight with him. I think it was the beginning of the year with Bellator. I don't know if you remember when Bellator came out.
Right.
And they had asked me to fight Alex then. But I was overweight. I was like at 155, 160. So right now I'm walking around like 140, 145. So I'm pretty close to it. 35s won't be a problem for me. But, you know.
Okay. Now, I did the interview earlier. As you can see, this was several weeks ago with Carlos de Soto. And I asked him specifically about cutting the weight and would it be a problem and what's he walking around at and everything. And you just saw what he told me. He said he's walking around between 140, 145 pounds. 135 would be no problem. Well, it was a big problem tonight because he hit the scales at 150 pounds. I think it was 150.6 to be exact. I can look right here. But anyway, let me look that shit up just so I can tell you fucking guys. 150.6. Alex Perez, his opponent weighed in at 138.8. Alex was going to fight. They were supposed to fight a contracted weight of 35. Earlier in the week, Carlos said, hey, I'm not going to be able to make that. You know, would you guys fight me at 140? Alex said, hey, I'll fight you at 138. Today, Carlos allegedly was walking around at 150, was, you know, trying to make the 145. As you can see, he came in at the scales at 150.6. And I mean, if you're an amateur, that's one thing. You know, I get it that you're an amateur, you're trying to, you know, learn to be a professional. But as a professional fighter, like that is absolutely, it's unexcusable. I can't understand why Carlos would come in at such a high weight. I mean, it's extremely disrespectful to the Tachi Palace, to the matchmaker Richard Goodman, and especially to not the decision. He's the finisher, Alex Perez. So I mean, I was pretty upset myself. Like, what the fuck do I have in it? But you know, you're supposed to be a professional, and basically you're just disrespecting the sport in general. And I didn't even go over to talk to Carlos at all. Like, I can't even believe that you know, something like this would go down. But the state stepped in. They took 20% to give to Alex. I'm not sure if Alex gets all 20% or the state gets 10 and he gets 10 or how that shit works. But the bottom line is the fight's still going to go on. Alex was so pissed off that he told me prior to the weigh-ins that he wasn't even going to look at Carlos, and he didn't. He stared down the entire time. I don't even know. I can't remember if they shook hands, etc., and so forth. But yeah, just a bad situation all the way around. Fighters, if you can't make the weight, then you know, step up a weight class or you know, do yourself a favor and go grab some golf clubs. But if you grab some golf clubs, Mott's will take money out of your pocket. I'm just saying. All right, so it was great being out at the Tachi Palace tonight. I wore my Feel the Pain Collins shirt. Shout out to Feel the Pain Collins. Still wearing Dallas Cowboy gear. I'm still wearing Raider gear. So, I mean, you got to respect a fan. That's a fan. That's a fan. But come on, man. Seriously. Take that fucking cowboy shit off. Don't fucking delete me. He's been known to delete motherfuckers who are talking shit on his Cowboys. All right, so got to see Andre Feely. I can't even imagine how big he's going to come in tomorrow night because I talked to Hirschbein for a little bit. That's his manager prior to the fight. he said Andre looks small, but when he hydrates up, he's going to be big, whoop-de-woo. And I tend to concur with that. So Tachi Palace Fights goes down tomorrow night. Main event, Angel Deonda versus Anthony Ruiz. I don't know if that is a quote headline, a major fight that it would warrant being the main event, but it is the main event. I'm looking forward to it. People are asking me, what do I think? What do I think? What do I think? I don't know. I mean, Deonda's got a fucking hell of a set of hands, but Ruiz has got so much experience that I think that might play into it. And to be honest with you, I've never really seen Angel Deonda do anything on the ground. So if Ruiz takes him to the ground, it could be a short night. But again, I haven't seen what Deonda has on the ground. We'll see what where that one goes. So tomorrow night, I think of all the bouts that are on the card, I'm going to go with Enoch Wilson versus Andre Fili for fight of the night. A close second to Deonda and Ruiz, because I think that will be quite an entertaining fight. I did not get a chance to ask the question that I really want to know is this Deonda versus Ruiz is a title fight. But the last time I checked, the Crow, David Luaza, was the 205-pound champ out there. So I don't know if they just ripped the guy's belt. What the hell's going on with that? But I'll try to get those answers tomorrow night. The fights, I don't know. I think they start at 5:30, maybe at 6. They stream live on sheerdog.com. Go over there and check that out if you can't make it out to the Tachi Palace tomorrow night. 9 fights on the card, including what I have to think is going to be a punishment fight, which is going to be Alex Perez dishing out major punishment to Carlos Sota for disrespecting him like that. So we're going to have to wait and see exactly how that one goes down. Again, I want to shout out to everybody that's ever supported Cage Radio. 60 MMA Minutes will be back in effect. We've been discussing many things. We've got a new studio. We've got new offices out in Clovis. So we're going to be bringing fighters in and whatnot. And instead of streaming the show live, we will be taping it. Now, I may do interviews throughout the week, snatch them up, and put them on the 60 MMA Minute show. When I first started this, I used to do a 1-hour show. I'd go out, I'd get interviews, etc., and so forth. I'd throw them all together in a 1-hour show and present that on Friday nights. This show will be going down on Tuesday. Again, I don't think we're going to be going live, so we can bring you some more video. And, I'm going to try to put together a little bit better quality show for you guys to enjoy. So shout out again to everybody that's ever supported. I want to thank my new sponsor, Liquid Nitro. I want to shout out to Isaac Ruiz. I gave him a ride home tonight. We had a great conversation about all of these things as well as some others. Looking forward to doing some things with him this year as well. Shout out to my man Jason House. Had a great conversation with him this morning. He is in Texas. I don't believe he will be out at the Tachi Palace tomorrow night, but got some things in the works, hopefully with him as well. Looking forward to getting a bunch of his top fighters on 60 MMA Minutes, so I can do interviews with fan favorites. One of my favorites right now, Francisco Cisco Rivera. So I think I've rambled long enough. I want to thank again everybody for supporting the show. And as always, good night now!